Well, the U.S. auto industry is booming thanks to lower gas prices. Production, they say, soaring at some auto factories as cheap gas is leaving car buyers with more money to spend on some of those old gas guzzlers like SUVs and small trucks. The low gas prices also happen to be helping other parts of the economy, like small businesses, too. But will they last? Gene Marks is a columnist, best-selling financial author, and CPA of the Marks Group, and joins us now. So, Gene, what does it mean when more people are out there buying those pickup trucks and the 4x4s and the bigger vehicles?
Yeah, they are, Eric. It's funny when people ask me about small businesses. They're, how is small business doing in this country? I always say, look at how the Ford F-150 is being sold. That is, Ford's best-selling light pickup truck. GM also has competitive models, the GM Sienna, the Silverado. They are having an absolute banner year. There were 780,000 Ford F-150s sold in 2015. The volume there is, for all three of those models are before what they were in 2007, up 3.5% over last year. That means a lot of small business owners are buying those trucks because really it's driven by construction and housing, isn't it? And there's a lot of contractors that are out there. There's almost 1 million small businesses that work in the construction industry in this country, and they are buying those light pickup trucks to haul stuff around. And when you see them buying those trucks, that's a really good sign for the economy.
I like that. This is a better indicator than the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones. You got the Ford F-150 indicator. But what happens when those sales start to slow? I mean, that's got to happen at some point. What if those F-150s go down?
Yeah, well, people are thinking about what is going to happen next year. I mean, will they be able to keep up the pace through next year? And so, certainly there are some risk factors out there. The global economy could slow down. The construction industry, could slow down as well. But I have to tell you, Eric, I mean, there are some really good indicators for small businesses in 2016. I mean, interest rates are still very low. I mean, you can get a car loan for 2%. The stock market, because it's been so unwieldy and the fluctuations in it, a lot of my clients, a lot of small business owners look at the stock market and say, I'd rather not put my money there. I'd rather buy more equipment for my business, particularly pickup trucks where I know I can generate revenue off of those trucks. I've got more control over my return on investment. So, there are some factors that are really driving those sales. There's one other thing that's also going on, Eric. There's taxes. I mean, right now, the government fully extended this new Section 179, well, not new, but they made it permanent. That's new forever, which means that business owners can take their expenses for things like pickup trucks and write them off immediately in the year. That's a huge tax savings. And we were expecting it to be extended this year. We were hoping they would be permanent. Now that they're permanent, I think in 2016, that's going to have a good impact on the car industry.
But, Gene, what if you don't have a pickup truck? What if you don't have a construction business? I mean, what do you do in the stock market at the moment? It went down, like a 10% or so in August, and then it just got hit, like 900 points? I mean, you feel like you're on this roller coaster, and I'm going to keep my eyes closed.
Yeah, it really does scare me. First of all, it scares a lot of small business owners because their customers are feeling less poor. They're less apt to spend money on their businesses. But what I'm seeing from a lot of my clients, I'm doing it myself as well, is reinvesting in our own businesses. Rather than putting money into the market where you're basically giving it to somebody else, I see a lot of smart business owners taking it and putting it into their own companies. They're buying those pickup trucks. They're buying capital equipment.
Well, what if you don't have your own company? What if you're just a regular schmo like me? You don't have your own company. I mean, what do you do then?
Well, you know what? I have a great uncle who I respect a lot, and I was asking the same question, saying, I have a lot of clients that have some savings built up. They're afraid to go in the market, what they do. And, he gave me some very good advice that I'll share with you, which is if you really don't have anything to spend it on, if you're not sure, then there's nothing wrong with not spending it at all, which means that if you're going to leave it there in a savings account until you're feeling more comfortable doing that, there's nothing wrong with doing that at all. You'll know when it'll come time to spend. I thought that was good advice.
Oh, yeah, that is good advice. And, of course, pay off those high-interest credit cards, first. They always advise about doing that. Get rid of that debt.
You can do that as well, or refinance into some lower interest rate loans, which are still available now.
Oh, yeah, until the rates start going up. And what happens if or when, and as they are predicted to do, the rates do go up? And what happens if gas prices start spiraling up then, too?
Right. So what will happen is that, you have certain risk factors going on. We know that rates are going to go up, Eric, next year. I mean, they already went up 1/4 of a point this year, and all indications are the Fed will continue to do that as the economy grows. That's clearly going to impact buyers of capital equipment, particularly autos, because they are going to be less likely to, get debt to do that. And the same thing also with, with interest rates going up along with it, with all the pressures from the other side of the economy, like China, some pressures on the global economy, that could have an impact on auto sales. I still do predict 2026, although next year all those risks are out there, so we don't have a crystal ball to know what's definitely going to happen. I still say, rates themselves are going to remain still affordable for business owners. And those business owners, the people in the construction industry, people in the service industry, they're going to buy cars. There's one other thing which is really interesting about car buyers. Uber and Lyft. Uber has 160,000 independent drivers right now. And Lyft and Instacart and Amazon and Grubhub, these are all firms, service firms, that are employing people in the shared economy to use their vehicles to go out and perform services and get paid to do it. I think that's also having a big impact on car sales as well. And watch, I think we'll see that happening over the next few years as well.
Yeah, and there's a whole new economy out there with some of this stuff. So, all right, so
That's right.
we'll save and just watch the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Gene Marks Ford F-150. We're going to tell Neil Cavuto about that one. They're going to put that up. Gene, thank you.
I drive a Toyota myself.
Okay, good to see you. Thanks.
Thanks, Eric. Take care.
All right,
Bye
Thal.
now.
So if you're a schmo, what's the girl version of schmo? What does that make me?
No comment.
He's so smart. That's why he's a happily married man. Good answer as always. Okay, Leo DiCaprio could be poised to win an award for his latest film during tonight's Golden Globes. More on who else is nominated and what it means for the Oscars.
Don't know where we're gonna be, but I know we're gonna be sitting on top of the world. So keep hanging on to me, yeah, don't you wanna be
I sure had a lot on my mind when I got out of the hospital after a DVT blood clot. What about my family? My little buddy? And what if this happened again? I was given warfarin in the hospital, but I wondered if this was the right treatment for me. Then my doctor told me about Eliquis. Eliquis treats DVT and PE blood clots and reduces the risk of them happening again. Not only does Eliquis treat DVT and PE blood clots, but Eliquis also had significantly less major bleeding than the standard treatment. Knowing Eliquis had both turned around my thinking.
Don't stop Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. If you had a spinal injection while on Eliquis, call your doctor right away if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
Eliquis treats DVT and PE blood clots, plus had less major bleeding. Both made switching to Eliquis right for me. Ask your doctor if it's right for you.
Defiance is in our bones. Citrical